What's up, everybody? I am Mongoose, you are awesome, and this is a collaborative Greystone build and guide. Welcome to this collaborative Greystone build and guide. I collaborated with one of my subs, Ariella System, to bring you this video. Today we'll be doing an introduction of the hero, covering how he plays in the early, mid, and late game, then going over some possible builds for him. Greystone is a tanky melee fighter that excels at forcing enemies into making bad decisions. If you enjoy playing YOLO-style heroes, then he's the man for you. Why? Because he gets to live twice. You want to focus on building him with early game wave clear, then transitioning into survivability and damage. You want to be tanky enough to soak up damage and remain in the enemy team's face while having enough damage that they can't just simply ignore you. They will be forced into pouring damage into a hero that is simply going to come back to life and possibly kill them while doing so, or be at the mercy of his sword. His kit includes Assault the Gates, which is a movement ability that provides verticality, very important in Monolith, great for both escaping and engaging. Make Way is a constant AoE around Greystone that is great for wave clear, applying card effects, or shredding steel to blade of armor. I shouldn't say it's constant, it does have a limited duration, but it does keep swinging around him while it is active. Deflect, which will block an enemy basic attack every 9, 7, 5, and 3 seconds, great for countering late game carries. Reforge, his ultimate, which will cause you to turn to stone then re-enter your body after a short delay, slowing down and then damaging enemies caught in the effect. Now let's get into some Greystone play. The Greystone play today is provided by Ariella System, and the commentary is, of course, me. When placing your dummy ward, try to place it in such a way that it will provide vision behind the fog wall and along the corridor leading to the off-lane jungle camps while remaining out of line of sight of enemy wards. That way you get all this vision without it getting destroyed. Speaking of the off-lane jungle camps, these camps can provide a good source of CXP and XP throughout the course of the match. There may be times where it's unsafe to position yourself to gain XP from lane minions. These are good times to clear these camps. You should of course coordinate this with your jungler before the match begins. Stay safe in the lane. Your tower will go down eventually. There is no reason for you to go down as well. Position yourself to gain experience from minions without overcommitting to the effort. Use Make Way to clear minions under the tower. You may find opportunities to get some damage in on the safe lane duo while they are under your tower, but don't overdo it and get yourself killed. Just keep soaking up that solo experience until you can reach level 5, unlock Reforged, and begin positioning a bit more aggressively. Your jungler and or mid laner may attempt to gank your lane. Be ready to assist, but don't push too far forward too quickly. This will alert the enemy safe lane that something is up. As we can see in this clip, the safe lane duo had properly warded the backdoor jungle entrance and knew a gank was incoming and pulled back. This is a great time to push forward and grab some last hits. Be at the ready in case the gank proceeds in spite of warding so you can assist where needed. Always be on the lookout for opportunities to steal the gold buff. Not only are you giving yourself some much needed and deserved CXP, you are denying that CXP to the enemy carry. Always a good thing to do. Once you reach level 5 and gain access to Reforged, you can start positioning yourself more aggressively and actively harassing the enemy safe lane. Reforged at this point in the game provides you with extra insurance against unforeseen events. Don't frivolously waste it and incur the cooldown. Use it to assist with a gank or attempt to help an ally, not to needlessly charge into an unwinnable situation. If either the jungler or the mid laner decides to come give you a breather, use that opportunity. A very common mistake I see on casting call are offlaners that seem to insist on staying in the lane when relief arrives for reasons which I cannot begin to understand. Take advantage of the break and go refill your resources and spend some card points to increase your effectiveness. Now let's move on to the mid-game portion of this build and guide. Midway through the game, the enemy team will start breaking up in order to react to a variety of situations. Look for opportunities to get a little quality one-on-one time with the enemy carry. Greystone is an amazing dueler. Even if he doesn't win the fight, he'll have plenty of opportunities to retreat if necessary. Most of the time, he'll just win the fight. Push aggressively. Greystone's unique kit gives him amazing split push potential. Force the enemy team to either split up in order to deal with you or lose structures. One of the cards in this particular build that will assist greatly with pushing is Thundercleaver. Thundercleaver is a 5-cost universal card that has a passive ability on equip and an active ability once fully upgraded. The card comes with 5.5 attack speed and is upgradable with attack speed cards known as Kinetic. The passive ability grants 50% bonus cleave damage to your basic attack. The active effect deals damage in an AoE around you with a 20-second cooldown. The damage is equal to your basic attack damage. Let's take a look at the card in action. You can see here that the minions are going down faster than normal due to the passive upgrade to cleave damage. The white burst around Greystone is the active ability. Try to improve a bad situation. We see here that several members of Ariella System's team have just died. He uses this opportunity to push the off lane even further into the enemy team side of the map. The red team are forced to retreat in order to defend the push, giving up the numbers advantage they had just gained. Here's a fun tip. If you take the enemy team's green buff, you can leave one of the white camp minions up, thus preventing a respawn of the green buff on the enemy side of the map until they clear the last minion. Be aggressive in team fights. Force the enemy team to either deal with you or die to your damage. Position yourself in the middle of the action. That way, if they decide to burn you down, your ultimate will set up kills for the rest of your team. Greystone is excellent at pushing down structures, including the core. A truly great Greystone will push a wave of minions into a tower, forcing the enemy team to react and then rotate in for a team fight with numbers advantage. He is the absolute best hero for forcing enemies to make a decision where both outcomes are a loss. I do wish to remind you at this time that these builds by no means are the perfect build for you. Every player has their own unique playstyle and should build a deck appropriate for their needs. I'm simply displaying these builds in order to satisfy viewer curiosity and perhaps provide a blueprint for your own personal build. We'll just be discussing the late game full 60 card point cost builds here. For the early game, I suggest you start with a health potion and a healer token, then get a ward, and then some cheap damage cards to facilitate lane clear and last hits. This build here includes a Nirvana Stone with a greater heal, and a minor heal, a Whirling Wand with 3 strikes, a Windcarver Blade with 3 strikes, a Bright Steel Plate with 3 greater guards, a Golden Veil with 3 greater barriers, and a Thundercleaver with 2 minor kinetics and 1 kinetic. Some cards I would suggest for the build are Thermobond, which has a unique passive that will heal you for 12% of your max health over 4 seconds after being hit with a stun, root, or knockup. The effect stacks. When you come out of Reforge, every member of the enemy team will be hitting you with whatever form of CC they have. This card will help you survive and perhaps even thrive. Toxigel. It's a passive burst cleanse that will activate upon taking 400 damage in 5 seconds. This effect has a 2-second cooldown. This will also help you survive the barrage of CC awaiting your return to life. A late game Guardian's Ward with health upgrades to provide vision and a bit of extra tankiness. And instead of health regen, I suggest picking up Lifesteal to help you stick in those fights even longer. Now let's take a look at a deck I made for beginning players who may not have access to as many cards. This deck follows the 6 cards at 10 cost each formula for simplicity. You start with you don't start with, but you have a Windcarver Blade with a greater kinetic and 2 strikes, a Toon Barrier with a greater barrier and 2 barriers, a Tempered Plate with a greater guard and 2 guards, a Lord's Ward with a greater health and 2 health, an Adamant's Edge with a greater strike and 2 strikes, and a second Adamant Edge with a greater strike and 2 strikes. This concludes my Greystone building guide. I hope that this will be helpful to both new and experienced players. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe by clicking on the mongoose at the bottom of your screen. This is Mongoose signing off. You guys have a good one.